Through the vast observation window of New Seoul Orbital Repair Station, the stars twinkled like scattered diamonds against the velvet black of space. Chief Engineer Yuna Park stood quietly, her dark eyes fixed on the approaching vessel. The massive crystalline ship moved with obvious difficulty, its usual grace replaced by an awkward limp that spoke volumes about its damaged state. The ship's outer hull sparkled despite its injuries, catching and reflecting the station's external lights in ways that made it seem alive. It was easily 3 times the size of the largest human vessel, its design unlike anything Earth's engineers had created. Crystal-based technology had always been theoretical in human engineering circles, yet here was living proof that it could work. Yuna adjusted her station uniform and checked the diagnostic readings flowing across her tablet. The incoming vessel's power signature was erratic, suggesting serious internal damage. Behind her, the repair bay crew worked with practiced efficiency, preparing for their first encounter with a Galactic Engineering Guild vessel. "Status report," Yuna called out, her voice calm despite the excitement building in her chest. "Docking cradle is configured, Chief," responded Technician Kim from his station. "We've adapted the support arms to account for the crystalline structure. Power feeds are standing by, though we're still not entirely sure about the compatibility." The ship, which they now knew was called the Stellar Whisper, edged closer to the docking port. Its movement reminded Yuna of a wounded animal, cautious and uncertain. The radiation storm that had damaged it had been unexpected, cutting through its supposedly superior shielding like paper. Now they were here, at humanity's doorstep, not by choice, but by desperate necessity. As the docking clamps engaged with a gentle hiss, Yuna noticed something odd about the ship's power core alignment. The crystalline structure had a subtle but distinct variance in its light pattern, something most would miss but spoke volumes to her trained eye. She could already see 3 possible solutions, each one simpler than the complicated procedures the alien engineers would likely propose. The airlock cycled, and Yuna moved to greet their visitors. The first alien to emerge was clearly the chief engineer, his status marked by the intricate patterns etched into his translucent exoskeleton. He introduced himself as Taven, his universal translator, converting his crystalline resonances into clear English. Taven's entire body seemed to shimmer with barely concealed disdain as he looked around the repair bay. His 4 upper appendages twitched in what Yuna recognized as a sign of distress or displeasure. "This is your primary repair facility?" he asked, the translator unable to fully mask the condescension in his tone. "Welcome to New Seoul Station," Yuna replied professionally, ignoring his tone. "I've reviewed your preliminary damage report. The power core misalignment is our primary concern, correct?" Taven's crystalline form flickered in surprise. "You can detect that from here, without our diagnostic equipment. The variance in your hull's light pattern indicates a 7-degree misalignment in the primary core matrix," Yuna explained, pointing to specific areas of the ship. "The radiation damage has created microfractures in your power distribution network, causing cascade failures in your secondary systems." The alien engineer's disdain visibly faltered. His appendages stilled, and his internal light patterns shifted to what Yuna guessed was a pattern of puzzlement or surprise. "That is correct," he admitted reluctantly. "Though the damage is beyond repair without a complete core replacement, we merely need sufficient stability to reach the nearest guild facility." Yuna smiled, her mind already racing through the possible repair scenarios. "I believe we can do better than that," she said, stepping toward a nearby console. "With your permission, I'd like to show you something that might change your perspective on human engineering capabilities." As she pulled up the diagnostic displays, Yuna could feel the weight of this moment. This wasn't just about fixing one ship. It was humanity's chance to prove themselves to the galaxy. The repair bay hummed with energy around them, her crew moving with purpose and precision, ready to show these advanced aliens that sometimes the simplest solutions came from the most unexpected places. The day that would change humanity's standing in the galactic engineering community had begun, and Unipark was ready to prove that human ingenuity could match and even exceed the technological prowess of their alien visitors. The stars continued their eternal dance outside, witnesses to this pivotal moment in human history, as she prepared to demonstrate why sometimes the best engineering solutions came not from advanced technology, but from thinking differently about the problem at hand. The silence in the repair bay was broken only by the soft hum of diagnostic equipment and the occasional crystalline chime from the alien vessel. Lead technician Han Kim stood before an exposed section of the stellar Whispers hull, his experienced hands moving with careful precision as he applied a modified plasma torch to the damaged crystal structure. Tevin watched with growing disbelief as the human engineer worked. According to every manual and procedure in the Galactic Engineering Guild's vast database, what Han was attempting should have been impossible. The crystalline hull material was supposed to be irreparable once damaged. Replacement was the only accepted solution. "This is highly irregular," Taven protested, his translucent form flickering with agitation. "The structural integrity of the crystal matrix cannot be restored through such primitive means." Han didn't even look up from his work, a slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "With respect," he said, making another careful adjustment to his equipment. "Sometimes the old ways work best. We've been working with crystal structures in metallurgy for centuries. The principles aren't that different." The repair bay team moved with practiced efficiency around them. Each member knew their role, handling the alien technology with a confidence that continued to astonish their visitors. Assistant Engineer Mina Lee was particularly focused, her eyes darting between multiple displays as she analyzed the ship's power systems. "Chief Park," Mina called out suddenly, her voice carrying across the bay. "I think I found something interesting in the power distribution network." Yuna crossed the repair bay quickly, followed by a curious but still skeptical Tevin. Mina's screen showed a complex array of energy patterns flowing through the ship's systems. To the human engineers, it looked remarkably similar to Earth's early attempts at crystal-based computing, just on a much grander scale. "Look here," Mina pointed to a particular junction in the power flow. "Their system is incredibly efficient, but it's also rigid. It can't adapt to sudden power fluctuations, but if we integrate our latest quantum regulators..." She didn't need to finish the thought. Yuna was already nodding, seeing the potential. "Show me the simulation," she requested. Mina's fingers flew across the controls, and a new pattern appeared on the screen. The power flow now showed smoother transitions, with noticeably higher efficiency ratings. Taven leaned forward, his crystalline structure brightening with interest, despite his previous skepticism. "This is unexpected," he admitted, studying the readings. "But surely the systems are incompatible. Our power crystal matrix operates on principles your technology cannot possibly." He fell silent as Mina brought up another display, this one showing the modifications she had already successfully tested on a small scale. The numbers were undeniable. A 30% improvement in power efficiency using human-designed regulators integrated with the alien systems. Meanwhile, Han had finished his work on the hull section. The repaired crystal structure gleamed under the bay lights, its integrity actually stronger than the undamaged sections around it. He had used a modified version of Earth's molecular realignment techniques, treating the crystal as a living structure rather than a static material. "Impossible," one of Taven's junior engineers whispered, running his own scanner over the repair. "The molecular structure is perfectly aligned, better than factory specifications." The repair bay was now a hive of activity as more human engineers began applying these new techniques to other damaged sections of the ship. Each repair challenged decades of Galactic Engineering Guild doctrine, proving that sometimes the best solutions came from thinking outside established parameters. Mina began the delicate process of integrating the human regulators into the ship's power systems. She worked methodically, each connection carefully tested and monitored. The Stellar Whispers systems accepted the modifications readily, almost as if the ship itself recognized the improvement they offered. "We've never considered such an approach," Taven admitted, watching as his ship's efficiency ratings climbed steadily higher. Our engineering principles are based on replacing rather than repairing, on standardization rather than adaptation. Yuna smiled warmly at the alien engineer. Sometimes the best solutions come from working with what you have, she explained. Humans had to learn to be creative with our resources. We couldn't always afford to replace everything that broke. The repair bay's main display showed the overall status of the Stellar Whisper. Systems that had been critically damaged were now operating at peak efficiency. The power core's alignment was stabilizing, and the hull integrity was actually stronger than when the ship had been built. As the final diagnostics completed their runs, even the most skeptical alien engineers had to admit that the human repair techniques had achieved something remarkable. Not only had they fixed the supposedly irreparable damage, but they had also improved upon the original design in several key areas. The day's work represented more than just successful repairs. It was a fundamental challenge to the established principles of galactic engineering. In just a few hours, a human repair team had demonstrated that innovation and adaptability could sometimes achieve what advanced technology alone could not. News traveled faster than light in the galactic community, spreading through quantum communication networks and ship-to-ship transmissions. Within days of the Stellar Whisper's departure, New Sewell Station's comm systems were flooded with repair requests from alien vessels of all types and origins. Engineer Jin Park sat at his workstation, dark circles under his eyes betraying long hours of work, but his expression remained focused and determined. As Yuna's younger brother, he shared her drive for innovation, though his expertise lay in computer systems rather than structural engineering. Another request coming in, he announced to the busy control room. Collective warship reporting critical engine failure. They're asking if we can handle their technology. Yuna leaned over his shoulder, studying the incoming data. The collective used completely different principles in their ship design compared to the crystalline technology they'd dealt with before. Where the Stellar Whisper had been all elegant curves and transparent surfaces, collective ships were angular, dark, and built around organic mechanical hybrid systems. Tell them we can help, Yuna decided, but we'll need their full system specifications. The next few weeks transformed the usually quiet repair station into a hub of constant activity. 3 merchant vessels arrived within days of each other, each representing a different alien civilization with unique technological approaches. The diplomatic courier, its hull covered in intricate patterns that served as both art and functional technology, limped in with failing life support systems. Jin spent every spare moment developing his universal diagnostic system. His workspace became a maze of displays and hybrid interfaces, each adapted to communicate with a different alien technology. Other engineers might have been overwhelmed by the complexity, but Jin saw patterns where others saw chaos. The key isn't trying to understand each system individually, he explained to a group of visiting alien engineers. It's finding the common principles they all share. His fingers flew over the controls, demonstrating how his system could interface with their various technologies. The aliens watched in amazement as Jin's diagnostic tools seamlessly connected to their ship's systems. One engineer, a tall, spindly being from the Merchant Guild, clicked its mandibles in confusion. But how can you account for all the variations? It asked through its translator. Each civilization's technology evolved independently. The protocols should be incompatible. Jin smiled, pulling up a visualization of his system's architecture. Think of it like learning languages, he said. They might sound different, use different symbols, but they all serve the same basic purpose: communication. Technology is the same way. The methods might vary, but the underlying goals are universal. The repair bay below them was a testament to this philosophy. Human engineers moved confidently between ships that represented the height of various alien technologies. They adapted their tools and techniques for each new challenge, often creating hybrid solutions that had never been tried before. A collective warship occupied the main repair dock, its biomechanical systems requiring a completely different approach than the crystalline technology they'd handled earlier. Yet the human repair teams had already developed new procedures, combining their understanding of biological systems with mechanical engineering principles. A massive freighter limped into view, its hybrid drives pulsing erratically. The ship's captain had diverted their course by 3 weeks just to reach New Sol Station, passing several alien repair facilities along the way. The reputation of human engineers had spread far beyond Earth space. Back in the conference room, Ho was demonstrating how humans approached equipment modification. "Your technologies are often more advanced than ours," he admitted to his alien audience. "But sometimes simpler solutions work better. We learned this through centuries of making do with what we had." He showed them how human engineers had adapted basic Earth cooling systems to work with the most advanced alien technologies. The aliens watched in fascination as he explained principles that seemed obvious to humans, but revolutionary to them. "But how do you know it will work?" asked a biomechanical engineer, its implants pulsing with confusion. "There are no precedents for these combinations in any database." Ho smiled. "We don't always know it will work," he explained. "We test, we fail, we learn, and we try again. That's the human way." The station's repair bays had become a living laboratory of innovation. Human engineers worked confidently with technologies far beyond Earth's development level, finding ways to repair and improve them using principles that seemed elementary to humans, but revolutionary to their alien counterparts. A junior engineer rushed into the conference room, interrupting the lesson. "Lead Engineer Ho, we need you in Bay 7. We've got a quantum drive malfunction we've never seen before." Ho saw the excitement in his alien student's eyes. "Would you like to observe how we approach a new problem?" he asked. The response was immediate. The entire class followed him to the repair bay, eager to see human problem-solving in action. The reputation of New Sol Station continued to grow. Ships that would once have been scrapped were given new life by human engineers who refused to accept that anything was truly irreparable. The station's success challenged centuries of established engineering doctrine across the galaxy. "They still don't quite understand," Yuna remarked to Ho later that day, watching aliens and humans working side by side in the repair bays. "They see our solutions as brilliant innovations, but to us, it's just solving problems the way we always have." Ho nodded, remembering his own grandfather fixing old vehicles with whatever parts were available. "Maybe that's our real contribution to galactic engineering," he suggested. "Not just the solutions we find, but teaching others how to find their own solutions." The station had become more than just a repair facility. It was a symbol of humanity's unique approach to technology. Ships came not just for repairs, but for improvements, for innovations that their own engineers would never have considered. As another day at New Sol Station drew to a close, the stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter. Humanity had found its place in the galactic community not through superior technology or advanced knowledge, but through their unchanging ability to face problems with creativity, determination, and an unwavering belief that there was always a solution to be found. System architect Che Li stood at the edge of the new observation deck, watching as construction drones swarmed around the expanding framework of New Sol Station. What had started as a simple orbital repair facility was evolving into something unprecedented, humanity's first true megastructure in space. The original station now formed just one small section of the massive complex taking shape against the stars. New repair bays stretched out in every direction, each one designed to handle different types of alien vessels. The structure grew like a living thing, adapting and changing to meet the ever-increasing demand for human engineering expertise. "Section 17 is ready for activation," announced one of G's assistants, their voice filled with pride. The new section would add capacity for another 50 ships, bringing the station's total capability to over 300 simultaneous repairs. G nodded, making a final check of the structural integrity readings. The new bay incorporated elements from every major alien technology they'd encountered, creating a hybrid facility that could adapt to any ship's needs. It was engineering on a scale humans had only dreamed of before first contact. "Remember when we thought the original station was big?" G asked, smiling at the memory. "Now look at us. We're building something that can be seen from Mars with the naked eye." Below them, a massive collective warship was being guided into one of the newly completed bays. Its biomechanical hull gleamed under the station's lights as human repair teams swarmed around it, their tools and techniques a perfect blend of Earth ingenuity and alien technology. In another bay, a team of human engineers worked alongside their alien counterparts, teaching them how to think beyond their traditional approaches. The sight would have been unimaginable just a few years ago. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations learning from the supposedly primitive humans. "Main hub expansion is ahead of schedule," G's assistant reported, scrolling through updates on their tablet. "The new quantum computer core is online, and the adaptive repair systems are functioning at 120% of projected efficiency." G walked through the station's corridors, each step taking her past examples of how far human engineering had come. The walls themselves were alive with technology, incorporating crystalline computing, biomechanical sensors, and human innovation into a seamless whole. A group of alien engineers passed by, their various forms representing a dozen different species. They were all students now, learning the human approach to problem-solving that had revolutionized galactic engineering. Their presence had become so common that the station's human crew barely noticed anymore. In the main control center, displays showed the status of hundreds of ongoing repairs. Each case presented unique challenges, but the human repair teams approached them all with the same resourceful creativity that had become their trademark. Two more guild ships requesting emergency docking called out a controller. Their routing from the Centauri sector turned back from their own repair facilities to come here instead. Jay checked the station's capacity. Even with the recent expansion, they were operating near their limits, but that had never stopped them before. Direct them to Section 12, she decided. "We'll make room." The station had become more than just a repair facility. It was a symbol of humanity's contribution to galactic civilization. Ships came not just for repairs, but for improvements, for innovations that their own engineers would never have considered. "Have you seen the latest efficiency ratings?" asked a collective engineer, its biomechanical implants pulsing with excitement. "The human modifications to our drive systems have increased performance by 40%. It defies all our previous understanding." Jai had heard similar comments from every alien species they worked with. The humans' ability to combine technologies in new ways, to find solutions where none seemed possible, continued to amaze even the most advanced civilizations. As the day cycle continued, Jim moved through her station, checking on various projects and expansions. Each new section incorporated lessons learned from previous builds, creating an ever more efficient facility. The structure grew not just in size but in capability, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. "New material synthesis lab is online," reported another assistant. "We're now able to recreate any known ship component on site." This was another human innovation. The ability to adapt and combine manufacturing techniques from different alien technologies. The station never slept. As one shift ended, another began, the constant flow of repairs and improvements continuing without pause. Ships arrived damaged and left not just repaired but enhanced, carrying human innovations back to their home worlds. Jay paused at another viewport, watching as construction continued on the next phase of expansion. The station's growth mirrored humanity's growing influence in galactic engineering. What had started as a simple repair dock had evolved into a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. "We're not just fixing ships anymore," she mused aloud. "We're changing how the galaxy thinks about engineering itself." And as she watched another vessel dock safely in the growing megastructure, Ji Li knew that this was just the beginning of humanity's contribution to the stars. From her office high in New Seoul Station's central tower, Chief Engineer Una Park watched the endless dance of ships moving through space. The view had changed dramatically in the 5 years since the Stellar Whisper's emergency arrival. Where once there had been empty space, now hundreds of vessels waited patiently in carefully organized queues, their various forms creating a living tapestry against the stars. A crystalline ship sparkled as it moved into position near a massive biomechanical cruiser, while energy-based vessels pulsed with internal light as they waited their turn. Each represented a different approach to space travel, each carrying their own unique technologies, and all of them had come to trust human engineers with their repairs. Yuna's tablet chimed with another status update. She glanced at the screen, noting with satisfaction that the day's repair quota had been exceeded again. It had become routine, this constant stream of successes that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. Chief Park, her communication system announced, the new apprentice group is ready for their orientation. She smiled, remembering her own early days as an engineer. Now she stood at the head of the galaxy's most prestigious repair facility, teaching alien species how humans approached engineering challenges. The latest group waited in the training bay below. Crystalline beings, biomechanical entities, and energy forms, all eager to learn the human way. As she made her way through the station's corridors, Yuna passed repair bays where human engineers worked confidently with technologies far beyond Earth's development level. They didn't just fix ships anymore, they improved them, finding ways to make even the most advanced alien systems work better. Why are humans so good at fixing things? A young crystalline apprentice had asked her recently. The question had made her pause, thinking about humanity's long journey to the stars. Her answer came from memories of watching her grandfather fix old machines with whatever parts he could find, of learning to see possibilities where others saw only broken pieces. When you spend thousands of years making do with what you have, she had told the apprentice, you learn to see solutions where others see only problems. The training bay doors opened, revealing her new students. Their varied forms reflected the diversity of galactic civilization, but they all shared the same eager anticipation. They had come to learn how a supposedly primitive species had revolutionized galactic engineering. Welcome to New Sol Station, Yuna began, her voice carrying the confidence of experience. You're here because you want to learn how humans approach engineering challenges. First, forget everything you think you know about what's possible. As she spoke, the massive display behind her showed recordings of human engineers solving problems that alien technologies had deemed unsolvable. The Stellar Whisper's crystal hull repair, the Eternal Light's core rescue, and countless other impossible fixes that had become routine at the station. Through the viewport, they could see the station's latest expansion taking shape. New repair bays stretched into space, each incorporating lessons learned from years of working with alien technologies. The structure had grown beyond anyone's initial imagination, becoming a symbol of humanity's unique contribution to galactic civilization. Tomorrow, Yuna continued, each of you will be assigned to a repair team. You'll see firsthand how we approach problems. We don't just follow manuals. We look for new solutions, new combinations, new possibilities. A ship moved past the viewport, its newly repaired systems glowing with improved efficiency. It had arrived barely functional, its advanced technology failing in ways its builders had never anticipated. Now it departed carrying innovations that would be studied and replicated across the galaxy. Chief Park, her tablet interrupted. Priority message from the Galactic Engineering Guild. The message made her smile. Another impossible repair request, another chance to prove that human creativity could overcome any technical challenge. She looked at her students, seeing in their varied forms the future of galactic engineering. That's our next challenge, she told them, displaying the message's technical details. Who wants to help solve an impossible problem? The enthusiasm in their response confirmed what Yuna had always believed. The greatest contribution humans could make to the galaxy wasn't just their ability to fix things, but their ability to teach others to see problems differently. As the day cycle drew to a close, Yuna returned to her office. The view of waiting ships had changed slightly, but the endless queue remained. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new technologies, and new opportunities to prove that human engineering truly was beyond compare. The stars twinkled beyond the station's sprawling structure, witnesses to humanity's growing influence in the galaxy. What had started with one desperate repair had grown into something that changed the way an entire civilization thought about technology. And as Chief Unipark watched another ship dock safely at her station, she knew that this was just the beginning. Human ingenuity would continue to push the boundaries of what was possible, finding solutions where others saw only problems, and teaching the galaxy that sometimes the simplest approaches led to the most remarkable results.